All right, we are live. All right, so let's check this out. I never remember how to work this. There we are. Perfecto. All right, so wait for you guys to come into the room. Let's see, this is all right. Hey guys, how are you? Trying to deal with me and my camera issues. Hey Aaron, hi. There we are. Perfect, perfect. MK, how are you? All right. Hey Terry, let me back this up some. Y'all all in my mouth. My bad. Let me give y'all some space. Okay, there we are. I am great. I got on my new Christmas gift, got my earrings on. So I'm really pleased. All right. Any of you who saw the video the other day, you saw me unbox them. Hey, Star and Jordan. Hi, honey. How are you? All right. So today, oh, MK, it's something about me and Christmas presents. I'm holding gifts and Santa Claus is in the thumbnail. So I think it might have been Wednesday or Thursday's video. I think I put out three that day. So you could take a look at it later. And I unboxed. I got myself three presents and I unboxed them and reviewed them. So that was a lot of fun. Hi, me Amore. So guys, today is going to be a very interesting discussion. Today we are going to talk about pages, what is this, 13 to 27? No, 29. 13 to 29 in our book, No More Frogs by Catherine Dahl. Now, the interesting thing about this is that when I read this to prepare for today, there's a lot of stuff in here about sex. So it's very interesting because Aquarius are known for our sex. That's one of the things a lot of people know us for. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. Hey, Catherine, welcome. So, a lot of things that she's not even just a lot, everything she said in here, I was like, and she's talking about Aquarius men, but Aquarius women are very similar in this area. Remember, Aquarius women have a lot of masculine energy. So a lot of things that are said about Aquarius men apply to us. So I was just looking like, I was checking things off like true, true, true. So, so we're gonna get down to business. Okay, guys. So at one point, I think we even have a little quiz. I think towards the end, she gave us a quiz that we can answer together. Yeah, on page 23, there's a quiz we're going to answer together, which should be very interesting. I like that quiz. And then there's some more general stuff, but without further ado, let's get started, okay? All right, page 13. So the last time we came together, we were definitely talking about the Aquarius man. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Welcome. So the first half of this is about the Aquarius man, and the second half of the book is about the Aquarius woman. So this part of the book, we're going to talk about the first date. And then we're going to get into intimacy, and we're going to get into how to get rid of an Aquarius man if you don't want him no more. We're going to get into sex and stuff. We're going to get into a little bit of everything. So it's going to be rather interesting. So let's start off with this first date. So the first part of this is talking about getting your foot in the door, the basics. So if you're dating an Aquarius man and you want to get your foot into the door, we have a couple things on this page that could be very helpful. The first one is to trigger his mind. A lot of times we talk about this on this channel. This is page 13, MK. If you want to follow along, I'm on 13. So the first thing she gave us is to trigger his mind. Now remember, thank you, Travelholic. Now remember, an Aquarius, you have to get into their mind. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. You have to get into the Aquarius mind, because just being sexy, just being attractive, just having money is not enough. Because the Aquarius meets people like that all the time. We meet people all the time that are attractive or sexy or, successful. We meet these kinds of people. So you have to have something more to draw us in. So she says to trigger his mind. And the way that she says here to trigger his mind is she's talking about inspiring him. This is very interesting. This is point 2. So you want to trigger his mind. You want to inspire him. She says new topics, new people, interesting places. You want to, in this first date, really get his attention. You want him to be very interested in talking to you and on the edge of his seat, fascinated, by your conversation. And this is what's going to really reel him in. This is what's going to start turning him on and making him really want you. So that part, I love that part so much. Then she said, don't be afraid as a woman or as a man, if you're trying to get with an Aquarius guy, don't be afraid to make a move. She said here that the Aquarius man may be too shy. Some of them are too shy to make the first move. And they may even prefer a woman who makes the first move or a man who makes the first move. So in this part of it, it says here, don't run over him like a steamroller. Don't just bulldoze him, but be open to gently making a move. So this is kind of like an intuitive thing. You're in the first date and you're kind of sitting with him. And when you see that opening, don't be afraid to make that first move. The next one says to free your spirit. And this one, it says if you're really serious about him, let him know that you appreciate freedom as much as he does. Now, this is more important than some of you may realize, because Aquarius really, really value freedom. So if he's getting from you that you're not going to be the kind of person who's going to smother him or be clingy or demanding or not give him any space ever, anytime, then he's going to be like, okay, I can mess with her. I can mess with him. They understand the concept of freedom. So this is a good one, because Aquarius are known, one of the top 3 things is we're known for being free spirits. In the mood, be smart about it. This guy isn't easily seduced. He needs to appreciate you as a person. That is very, very meaningful. Before he will become erotically involved. So this is don't be in a hurry, slow down, don't be in a hurry. And it says here that this is something that really can work. So be smart about it. Again, it takes us back to getting in here. And this is not a fast thing. It's more of like they said, she said, don't bulldoze him, to be more gentle. So it's more of a gentle kind of thing. All right, now we have some don'ts here. Let's read the don'ts. Don't come across as aggressive or too assertive. Yeah, especially telling him what to do and, bullying him. That would definitely turn him off. Definitely. Don't be argumentative and fixed in your opinions. You don't know how many dates I've walked off because the person got argumentative. Definitely. Don't criticize others for being original. Definitely not. Don't wear overly suggestive clothing. Don't push him into making a decision. Don't make fun of his unusual ideas, because we do have some unusual ideas. Don't ask him what kind of salary he's aiming for. Definitely not on the first date. Asking him about his money on the first date, that's tacky. Don't keep looking at your watch telling him that sleep is a priority. Definitely not. Just kind of go with the flow of what's happening. Don't refuse to see things from new perspectives, so be open minded, definitely. And don't get distracted from what he's saying. Definitely pay attention. Don't be on your phone. Definitely pay attention. That's a real big turnoff, especially if you're on your phone. Remember, don't reveal too much right away. Keep him guessing. He loves the suspense. This is very true. We do, and especially men and women, love the mystery of a person. So this is going to be really cool. She said for you not to allow him to read you like an open book, but there to be some mystery, for something for him to figure out. All right, good. Okay. All right, so now how do we know that you're in? Keep in mind that a relationship with him will usually start as a friendship, and that every friendship takes a while for him to establish. This part is very important. A lot of times when people come to me and we talk about their Aquarius, one of the things I tell them is Aquarius often fall in love with our friends. It's this friend, we have this best friend or this really close friend, and we're always talking about them, we're always with them, and we're really cool with them. And then all of a sudden, the Aquarius is in love. Hey, Michael, all of a sudden, the Aquarius is in love with their friend. That build up of time and friendship and closeness and bonding, that's the best person I think to date in the world. That's the best person to date. That is very common for us. It may not happen every day, but it happens a lot. I can even, oh my God, think back on mine. It's been so many. But yeah, it's usually that friend, that very, very close friend. So this part is going to be really important. So take your time and get to know him. That's why getting into his mind is really important. Hello, Miss Horn. So that's going to be really important. Okay, now, chances are he will. These are some of the things he'll do if you're in there. So if you're talking to an Aquarius guy, you want to know if you're in there, I'm going to tell you some of the things he might do. He may invite you out for an unusual meal or a drink. He may suggest listening to some new music while taking an herbal bath. Now that's a hot idea. I like that one a lot. He may keep you up late at night to explore books or movies, or conversations. That's a typical one, yeah. He will change or adjust his style in order to impress you. He may do some things. I'm not sure how much, but yeah, they will change some things. They'll do little fun things. Yeah, and do little cool things to impress you. Um, he will serve you exotic fruits or drinks. That's kind of cool. I like that one too. Especially if they got rum or vodka in them. Keep them coming. Also, he will be willing to explore erotic mysteries with you. I love this one. Erotic mysteries. Like laying in bed and reading erotic stories to each other. That's pretty cool. Or laying in bed, on the phone with each other, talking about your fantasies and things that you like. That could be really cool. I like that a lot. All right. So it says here at the bottom. Now that's if you're in there, he's going to start doing those kind of things. So now what if he's not your type and you want to get rid of him? We got some we got some advice for that one too. It says an Aquarius man will never let anything or anyone hold him back or restrict his freedom. We already learned about that. That's important. If things are not working out, he will be off before you have even had a chance to think about it. That's true. If it's not working for him, he's not going to just play around. He's going to be out. It takes a very special woman to compel him to commit to a long-term relationship. There will be no drama, just an exit. That's very true. So if it's not working for him, he's just going to walk. So that's good because at least you're not going to get strung along you know, in most cases, I mean, there are exceptions to this rule, but in most cases, at least you won't get strung along and they will just disappear. So you won't have to worry about that. You know, I would rather you disappear out of my life than make me believe that you like me, you know, and waste my time. I hate my time being wasted. If you don't like me, speed on, you know? So if he's not with it, he's going to move on. That's good. Okay. Then it says that over here, let's see. Now, what if it's you that want to get rid of him? We have a few simple, foolproof ways to get rid of him. And these are good ones because they're all very non-aggressive. I like these. These are ways that y'all not going to get into a fight. You know, this is ways he just going to step off on his own. So if you don't like him, but he does like you and you want to get rid of him, she said to get jealous or pretend to be jealous anyway and ask him where he has been and who he's been with. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I hate that so much. That's a good one. The other thing you should do is make a fuss about his mess and tell him to be tidier. So these are all things that he is not going to like and will leave on his own. Perfect. 3, insist on talking about feelings and make him commit to the future. This is great because we will talk about feelings because of course we have feelings, but if it's in the very beginning, like in this is not a stage where we're ready to be talking about feelings and making commitments. You start asking about commitments in like the first couple of dates, and Aquarius man going head for the hills. These are good. Be rigid and conservative in your views. Ooh, yuck. Don't like that. You start doing that, he gonna leave immediately. Get angry and upset whenever he's late for anything. Yeah, it's. I mean, and I'm not saying that people should be late and waste your time in the least bit, but if it's like he's a minute late, or something along those lines, instead of just saying, oh, I wish you had been on time, but she's like, getting angry, getting upset, getting an attitude, getting stank about it. That's what's going to push him away. You saying something about it is human nature. But you being nasty, being stank, being upset, being angry, wanting to argue, wanting to yell at him about it, that's what's going to push him away. Introduce routines to help him be more efficient. Oh God, he's going to run for the hills. He's going to run for the hills. He's going to think you're trying to change him and trying to control him. Oh, those are perfect. He's going to run from you quickly. So that's what you do if you want to get rid of him, okay? So that way he'll leave you alone and you won't have no confrontations with him. He'll just leave on his own because he got upset. Okay, now let's get to the sex. This is the good part. All right, sex. Sex and stuff. Seductive moves. This is how we're going to get him in the mood, okay? Hey, Shirley. Welcome to the room. We are getting Aquarius man in the mood right now. So if you ever wanted to know that, we're getting ready to find out. All right, so the Aquarius's mind is probably his biggest erogenous zone. Okay, so now we're back to the mind again. Definitely. You won't get far without appealing to his thoughts and fantasies. That's why I was talking about earlier about talking about fantasies and talking about these kind of thoughts and things on the phone. I thought that would be fun. It's a great build up to the actual sex. Then she says here, you need to present your ideas as suggestions. Allow him to visualize the possibilities and let them sink in. So you're going to make little kinky suggestions, like things you want to use, and like stuff like maybe she mentions a little bit later oils and creams and chocolate sauces and special toys and things like that. So this is the time when you present these kinds of ideas. Okay, so I love these ideas. This is great. Now it also says make the surroundings comfortable. I do this every single time. I hardly ever make up my bed, but whenever it is time for sex, I make up my bed and I make it very nice and put the pillows on it and every single time. So that is true. Make the surroundings comfortable, a little exotic. Pillows are great. She says pillows can be handy during the erotic adventure because as you're having sex, you can use the pillows, to elevate different parts of yourself and all kind of stuff. So that definitely is true. All right, let's see what else we got here. Preferences and erotic nature. All right. It says here that an Aquarius man is willing to try most things once. So if there's things you want to try, and this is true, more than likely we will try them. If they are, it's certain things we don't like, but that's a short list. Very short list. So if you talk about sex before the two of you actually get to this part, if you talk about it on the phone before you actually begin to have sex, you can find out what his deal breakers are, the things he absolutely does not like. Everything else he'll be willing to try probably at least once, okay? And he'll make them a routine if he actually likes them. Now, let's see. He likes to, she says, change up his sex life. That's true. Try different things, different times, different places. Definitely true. The washing machine comes to mind. Not just always in the bedroom, the back of the Jeep, for example, is another one that comes to mind. So there are different places and different times of day. Doesn't always have to be at night, missionary style in the middle of the night. One of the things that I've always told people that they think is strange is I like to have sex with the lights on. I don't like having sex in the dark. So he might have little quirks like these as well, and like different places and stuff like that. So if you can be open, to, a little bit of variety in this as far as positions, she says, places, then you'll probably be better. He may also enjoy regular old missionary style. It says here that he's one of the few men in the zodiac that will make old missionary style position a new adventure every time you try it. I like missionary style. It's one of my favorite ones, So again, it's something that for him wouldn't necessarily be something that was old and tired. It says he's playful. He doesn't usually get like expensive sexual gadgets and stuff. He really likes to use his imagination. We will use them though. I've used them in the past, and other Aquarius men have used them, they told me. But he prefers his imagination, his body, his hands. And like they said earlier, he likes natural things like oils, creams, chocolates, chocolate whipped cream. One of my favorite things, oh my God, is chocolate whipped cream. If you have never had chocolate whipped cream, like, oh my God, it's wonderful for sex. Now, you have to be really careful when you're using like sauces and chocolates and creams and things. You have to be really careful because some women, this will throw off your pH balance and you'll end up with a yeast infection. So you have to know your body before you start doing stuff like this. But my body was very tolerant to all these kinds of things. So for an Aquarius man, these are things that he may very much want to try. But make sure it agrees with you before you do so. You don't want to end up, out of commission, okay? While your body heals up because you let somebody squirt, chocolate sauce on you. So make sure you know your body first. Hitting the right buttons. All right, it says here, about the Aquarius man and his erogenous zones. So first of all, it says here that you should open up to the sensuality of touch and taste. First of all. All right, touch and taste. I agree. Because for the Aquarius man, wham bam, thank you ma'am, sex is not going to work. It is going to be a lot of oral. It is going to be a lot of touching, a lot of massaging, that kind of thing. Definitely so. Key areas. Now, Aquarius are known for being sensitive in the lower legs and the ankles. When people rub me and touch me in that area, like massages, foot massages, things like that, like, oh my God. So Aquarius men are going to be very yeah, they're going to like that area too. It says to spark his erotic interest, pay close attention to that part of his body. So it's the lower legs and the ankles. It's going to be like an on button to him. One thing she suggests that I think is so amazing, Chris Malone, we are doing a book called No More Frogs by Catherine Dahl. And it's all about the Aquarius man and the Aquarius woman. But this section is on the man. Anyway, guys, so listen to this part. This is really interesting. I want to try this. I was like, oh my God, this is decent. She said, when you're in the restaurant, right, to play footsie with him under the table. Okay? She said here to kick off your shoes, make sure your feet are soft and, pretty and smelling good, and rub on his foot and his ankle underneath the table. I'm sure you've all seen this in a movie before, but I've never tried it before. I'm going to try this one day. I swear, I love this idea. The fact that he's being aroused in public will add to the excitement. Okay? Arouse him in public. Look at Jordan, right? Catherine told me on Instagram that this was a very sassy part, and she's 100% correct. I love this part. So yeah, so that's something that he may actually like. So if you go out on a date with an Aquarius man, this is a good idea. I'm gonna try this one day. I'm gonna try this with somebody, period. I'm just gonna try it just because I want to. All right, so now she says here that if he seems to be a little bit shy with sex, it says that you should give him a gentle massage, paying special attention to his feet, his calves, and his ankles. Okay, good. This will stir up erotic feelings in him. All right, good. So let's say you guys, have dated for a little while and you're ready to take it to the next level, and the Aquarius is acting kind of shy. You're laying on the couch watching Netflix, pull out some oils, some any kind, something that smells nice, and offer to give him a foot massage. Rub his feet, his ankles, and his calves. Massage him gently. Don't be too rough because that will turn him off. And it's a good chance that you will be able to arouse him. Okay? That's another good one for our arsenal, right, guys? Then it says here, surprise him. Tell him you're studying tantric sex or something similar. Whoa! Give him a few hints as to what he may expect. This is a great idea because you can get tantric sex books and massage books, and they have videos, free ones on YouTube. This is a wonderful idea. And tell him you need somebody to practice on. That's going to be a very hot night, definitely. She said to spice it up by telling him your erotic fantasies. So massage him and tell him your fantasies. Ooh, nice. But only the ones you want to try out. Bring a fun erotic toy to bed and allow him to explore you. Nice. So laying on the couch, telling him your erotic fantasies, the ones you actually want to try out, and maybe you have like a vibrator or a dildo or nipple clamps, or something like that. You can get these things on Amazon.com. Or any kind of like erotic parties. They have those erotic parties sometimes people go to. I had friends that used to give them all the time. And you can get all kinds of little, sexual things at these parties. So that's really cool. Remember, his sex life is ruled by his mind. Sassy underwear alone won't do. It'll help, but it won't do alone. He needs something that triggers his imagination, something inspiring, tantalizing, and a little mysterious. Child, we gonna turn this Aquarius man out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whoo. This poor guy. He gonna be drooling on himself. All right. So now let's see. These are his expectations. Would work on your Libra hubby? I would suggest trying it. I really do, Terry. Try it. Because these don't sound like bad ideas. So I think that if you have a man, Aquarius men are into this kind of thing. So if you have a man that's into this kind of thing, try it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. Okay, so number one, his expectations. Prepare to say yes. He needs a partner with an open mind. Okay, so this is going to be really important. Okay, a woman who is, listen to this, more traditional women who prefer it once a week under the covers with the lights out are not his type. Definitely not. Definitely not. Yvonne, I said the same thing because Aquarius women are kind of masculine. We would like a lot of these things too. Definitely. Definitely agreed. So if you are the woman that wants, or the guy who wants missionary style under the covers once a week with the lights out, this is probably not the best union for you. Two, go exploring. You don't have to be particularly experienced or creative, provided that you're eager to explore erotic pleasures. Going exploring. One of the things I thought about when I read this part the first time is they have these sex toy shops and lingerie shops. I'm from Philadelphia, so ours was on South Street. There was one on South Street called, I think it was called Passional, if I'm not mistaken. But they had little toys. They had, oh my God, they had toys. They had costumes. Um, Mia Moore says he always wants the lights on during oral sex. Okay, okay. I want them on all the time, period. But okay. But these places, they have like little kinky outfits. Like I saw one that was like Catwoman. They had a nursing outfit. I had bought a French maid costume. Love that one. That one was adorable. So they had different kind of little outfits you can role play in the bedroom. This is the kind of thing the Aquarius man would think is a lot of fun. So go together to one of these kind of shops and pick out things that you or you guys will both enjoy playing with together, Also, these shops sell toys, lubes, creams, they sell all that kind of stuff. So this is a great way to explore together. They have different little light bulbs that have different colors in them. All kinds of different ways to set the mood and have ambiance. So don't be afraid to go into one of these little shops together and have some fun, That would be great. The next one says a little creativity makes all the difference. Traditional positions are fine. I do enjoy traditional positions. He will simply try things from a new angle in order to make the sensation more exciting. Yeah, like if you're used to doing missionary style, you might want to try to add something to it, like missionary style with music. Missionary style with more pillows, missionary style with less pillows. Just little variations to it. That part is great. Liberate yourself. He expects to expand his sensual horizons by trying new things. Doing the same thing over and over again will cause him to lose interest. That's true. I mean, certain things I do like to repeat, but I don't want to do the same sexual sequence over and over. Have you ever gotten into a relationship with someone and towards the middle or towards the end of the relationship, you do the same thing every time? It's like, do this, do that, go to sleep. It's like, do oral, do penetration, go to sleep. So in this particular case, what she's saying is, switch it up. Don't do the same thing all the time. That's really important. And Some Aquarius do like to watch porn together, like to watch porn with you if you're into that. There's all kinds of porn, there's lesbian porn, there's, there's S&M porn, there's all kinds. Maybe exploring different types of porn together could be fun too. All right, now let's see what's the next one. All right. Take it slow and enjoy the scenery. He loves the erotic journey and can actually be a little indifferent about climaxing. Or he may turn it around completely and focus on different ways of experiencing orgasm together. He can be a little neither, either or. I definitely like different ways of exploring. Um, I definitely enjoy different ways of exploring orgasms. So this could definitely be the case. Definitely too. Be ready. Now this one says he can come up with erotic invitations at the weirdest moments and he will expect his partner to play along. This can either be very exciting or quite tiring, depending on your preferences. Yeah, he is going to want you to play along. So it depends on if you're into that or not. That's going to be very important. All right, guys. Now we're going to take a little quiz. We're almost done. So we're going to take a little quiz after our sex part and see what we get here. Now, I'm going to ask questions. And you're going to answer the questions based on this scale. If you give a 1, you don't agree. If you give a 3, it means sure. And you give 5, you emphatically agree. So it's between 1 and 5. You can give a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5. Okay? So if you're in the 1, 2 realm, you do not agree. If you're in a 3, 4 realm, it's like sure. And if you're a 5, you're an emphatic yes. You definitely agree. Okay? So it's only 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 questions here. And what you're going to do is if you have a piece of paper or your cell phone or whatever the case is, I'm going to give you a second to grab something if you want to. You're going to write down a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for each one of these. Okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to give you 1 second. I'm not going to start reading them. I'm going to give you a moment in case you want to grab paper or... Let me see. Do I even have paper? Let me see. In case you want to grab paper or something like that. I should have my copybook next to me. All right. So we can all take this little quiz together, okay? All right. So let me see. All right. There's 4 questions. I'm watching something that seems to be going on in the chat area, MK. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but right now I don't see who you're talking about. So I would suggest that you block this person. Oh, okay. Well, I would suggest you block this person because trust me, I've had quite a few stalkers, and the block button works very well. So definitely, yeah, just block him and move on with your life. Don't let that stop you from living your life and enjoying yourself, because it seems like that's something that you're talking about a lot, so it's affecting you a lot. I had that problem. You've heard my Voldemort story, so you know I've had several problems of that kind. So I definitely suggest blocking them and enjoying your life and not let that keep on slowing you down or getting in your way, because that's all they want to do. They want to get in your way. Don't let them. Block them and move on. If I let my stalkers get in my way, Charles, I wouldn't get nothing done. Good. You blocked them. That's what's up. All right, y'all. Back to sex. Okay, now we're on page 23 now, okay? I am going to read the question, and on a piece of paper or something along those lines, I'll give you a story about it, Dark and Proud. That's a funny story. So, oh my God. Jordan, you just don't know. I'm gonna tell that story. One day we're going to do a live discussion, and I'm just going to talk about that crazy story. So we're going to answer these questions 1 through 4. And like I said, if you don't agree, then you're going to hit the 1 or the 2. If you think sure, you're going to hit the 3. I'll write down 3. And if you emphatically agree, you're going to hit 5. Okay? This is going to tell us whether or not we can turn out this Aquarius man or not. Okay? Number 1, orgasm is just a bonus. The erotic journey is far more important. 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to say it one more time. Orgasm is just a bonus. The erotic journey is far more important. Write down 1 if you do not agree. Write down 1 or 2 if you do not agree. Write down 3 if you're or 4 if you're and 5 if you emphatically agree. So for me, orgasm is just a bonus. I need the orgasm and I need the journey. I need both. I need both of these, and at the end of it, I need to orgasm. So, yeah, I'm not going to be able to agree with this one. I'm going to have to give this one a 2. I'm going to have to give this one a 2 because, yeah, I need both of those to happen. All right, so we got that. Number 2? Yeah, this is number 2. Exploring each other's bodies can be very satisfying. On a scale from 1 to 5, you are. Okay, so do you think exploring someone's body is very satisfying? Definitely 5. I like to explore someone's body. I like to, it's really strange because certain things about a person's body really like turn me on. I have an ex, and she had this scar. My Taurus ex had a scar, and it went from her belly button down. It was where they had to give her a cesarean to pull out, I think, one of her last children. And that scar was the sexiest thing in the world. And she hated this scar. And I used to rub it. And she used to get so mad at me. I used to always want to rub it and touch it, and she used to hate it. So exploring somebody's body, a 5, definitely. Number 3, intense passion can ruin the mysteries of sex. Intense passion can ruin the mysteries. Okay. So overly passionate, just wanting to do it, just wanting to get off, basically, can ruin the mystery of sex. Okay. On a scale from 1 to 5, you are. Intense passion can ruin the mysteries of sex. I'm going to have to agree with that one. I'm going to give that one a definite 4. I agree with that because if you're just... have you ever had sex with somebody and they came really fast? That's what that reminds me of. Somebody who comes real quick. I hate that. Oh my God, did I hate that. I've had sex with someone and they came within like the first minute or so. You not getting a call back, boo-boo. You not getting a call back at all. That is awful. I can't stand that. I cannot stand that. Like, oh my goodness. Now, if they come in like a minute, but they can, do it again, then we can talk. We can talk then. But if they do it and then they're out of commission, oh my God, I'll never forget this one time I had sex with this woman, and she came in like the first couple of seconds and then passed out. Passed out snoring, and I was sitting there like, first of all, who said you were spending the night? And second of all, what? What the hell was that? So that does happen, and I'm not with that one. That's no. If you come in too fast, that's gonna be a 4 for me. Sex should not be confined to certain times or places. 5, I agree with this one emphatically. Sex should not be confined to certain times and places. You should be able to have sex whenever you feel like having sex. I remember this one woman telling me that you should only have sex at night. I don't know where she got this from. It's kind of like people who tell me that you should only drink alcohol after 5 p.m. And I'm like, why? What difference does it make? Are you serious? So that reminds me of that. And places. Some people only want to have sex in the bedroom. And while I do mostly have sex in the bedroom, it's fun sometimes to switch that up. The balcony, the washing machine, in the car, in the woods against a tree, these different places, different times, somebody said the changing room in a store. Okay. My thing about in stores or places like that, I'm always afraid to get arrested. That's my only thing about that, is I'm always scared. Like, make sure you don't get arrested. That's my most important thing. Can you imagine being in a dressing room and getting arrested, for having sex in the dressing room? Like, that would be so embarrassing. Like, how are you going to explain that to your mother? Nature is perfect. Yes, nature is so perfect. If it's with the clerk. Yeah, the clerk is, their friends aren't going to call the cops on them. That's very true. Exactly. Nature is perfect. I can't but remember how many times I've had sex in nature. That's been great. Yeah. Yeah, because dark and proud, some people might tell on you. Somebody might walk by. You know how it's always those busybodies, those conservatives, those who ain't getting any and mad about it, might walk by and be like, yeah, somebody's having sex in like room number 2, and you get some, manager who calls the cops on you. That is not cute at all. Like, that is not happy at all. All right, guys, if you like this live discussion, please remember to give us a thumbs up so that I know which discussions you like and which discussions we need to continue. All right, now this one says here, okay, now we're going to figure out. Now we have to add up our score now. Let's add up all our points. So 5, 10, 14, 16. So I got a 16. So add up what you got, and now I'm going to tell you what it means. If you have between a 15 and a 20, you truly enjoy the exotic pleasures of sex and share his need for adventure. So you and the Aquarius male will do very well together. So any of you who got a 15 to a 20, you might want to try an Aquarius man. Yeah, Yvonne, I would love to be in the sauna. Oh, I would love that. But it would have to be like a private one, Like, cause I've seen people like it at like, my gym, playing around in the sauna, and I'm like, no, y'all did not. But like if I had like a hotel room and there was like, cause they have these hotel rooms in the Poconos that you get a sauna and like a pool and like this kind of, in your hotel room. And if I had a sauna in the room, that would be really sexy. That I can only imagine having sex like that. That would be amazing. I would love that. All right, so those of us who are 15 to 20, we need to try an Aquarius. So, yeah, I'm going to have to meet an Aquarius woman and see, and see what happens. I'm going to have to do that one day. I dated one and she wasn't, so I'm going to have to try again and see what happens. Now, if you got a 10 to a 14, okay, that means that the relationship will never be boring and he will probably bring out your adventurous side. So you between 10 to 14, y'all about to transform. Y'all about to surprise yourselves, okay? So that's going to be fun. Now, if you are a 5 to a 9, he wants sex to be fun, exciting, and interesting. You appreciate passion and a wonderful finish. You may want to talk things over with him. So if you're a 5 to a 9, y'all need to have a little chat. Y'all need to talk very deeply about expectation versus reality. Okay, so y'all need to talk about what you truly like and what he truly likes and what's going to happen. He wants it to be fun, he wants it to be exciting, he wants it to be interesting, but you want passion and you definitely want to orgasm. So he needs to know that, and that's a conversation you guys like to have. 1, 2, 4. Now, if you got between 1 and 4, the two of you are not on the same level. Y'all not compatible. So you need to dump him or and move, or whatever. Y'all need to move on. Go back to the beginning of the book where they told you about how to get rid of him. Start being a pain in the butt, start being rigid, those kind of things. You need to get rid of him because looking for passion, tenderness, and closeness. You're looking for more passion, more tenderness, and more closeness, especially up front, than he's going to be able to provide. So it says here, this is not going to be your man. And I definitely agree with that. So you need to ghost him. Well, don't ghost him. Tell him bye-bye. No more ghosting. Let's tell people goodbye in the years to come. So get jealous and ask him where he's been or who he's been with. And become rigid in your views and he will go away. Okay? Try those two. Because you need a man who's going to be very different than him if you got between a 1 and a 4. So, all right. So now let's go into some more general stuff. We only got a couple more pages. It says here, the big picture. So now I'm going to tell you guys some pros and cons about the Aquarius man. And you can think about these, especially if you are an Aquarius man or you've been with an Aquarius man. You can see what you think. Number 1, these are going to be the pros. The pros to an Aquarius man is that he is open to learn from others. He is genuine. He is curious. He's a good listener. He's an individualist. He's eloquent and convincing. He's very intuitive. He's intelligent. He's analytical. He is self-disciplined. Love that one. I'm extremely self-disciplined. He is unconventional. He's unafraid. He explores and moves forward, and he creates his own destiny. Definitely. These are the cons that you may run across with this Aquarius man. He could be restless. He could be distracted. He could be self-obsessed. I've been accused of that. I have been accused of that many, many times. He could be emotionally detached. He could be superficial. He could be drifting. He could be controlling. He could be not trusting, distrusting. He could be a lone wolf. He could be prone to withdrawal. I've heard all of these. He could be indecisive. He could be stubborn. He could be obsessed with freedom. And he could be intellectually snobbish. I've run across all of these with Aquarius, so I would definitely say that could be the case. So if he has any of these pros or cons, they're pretty much normal for his sign. But if he has a lot of these cons, it's going to be difficult to have a relationship of any kind. This man, a man with most of these cons, is the kind of man I will call the dark Aquarius male. That's what I always call them, because they have these going on, especially that controlling energy. Don't like that. All right, how to show romantic interest. So if you like an Aquarius guy and you want to show him that you're interested in him, it says to be supportive of his ideas, spend time exploring his interests, and give him a special gift that shows you're paying attention and that you understand him. I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot. Romantic vibes. Mr. Aquarius, the independent and considerate partner, the essence. Now, these are some things you're going to notice about him up front, and this is going to be very helpful to a lot of people. A lot of people have asked me about this. Number 1, in the beginning, he is likely to be keeping his distance for a little while. It can be difficult to get to know him. Although he's generous and friendly, he might seem to be holding something back. This is simply because he is afraid to get too close too soon. Aquarius in general do not like getting too close too soon. That is a big one. So if your Aquarius is a little distant, and especially in the beginning, I always told you guys that an Aquarius melts slowly like an ice cube. So if your Aquarius is hard in the beginning but slowly melting, that's a good sign. But not too fast. An ice cube melts gradually, not fast. Love rocks, but friendship rules. Don't try pushing him into a relationship. Mm-mm-mm. Love usually starts with friendship. I cannot impress that upon you enough. Every Aquarius, if you want to be with them, start with friendship. Guaranteed the smartest thing to do, especially if you want it to go somewhere. If you want to just be a sexual experience and you start with sex, that's pretty much what you're going to get. But start with friendship. This works much better. Sometimes it may seem as though he's more interested in a friend than a girlfriend, but that's just his way. That is our way, definitely. A playful soulmate. He seeks a partner who is a companion in every area in life. This is very true. Playful, soulmate vibration, connection, yes, yes, all day. Commitment and higher love. Romance is important to him, but on a different level, almost intellectual and something to explore and strive towards. When he does get romantically involved, he will devote loads of time to his partner. Yeah, once he gets there, definitely. This is why you want to take your time, definitely. Space and room to breathe. He needs freedom to make up his own mind. This is very important for the relationship to work, definitely. No fussing, please. He doesn't like to be told when to go out or where or with whom. This will make him feel trapped and restless. This is so true. We do not like to be told what to do. I was talking to an Aquarius man yesterday, and that's exactly what he was talking about. Is how someone had been telling him what to do and how pissed off it made him, even though it was something that he wants to do. It's something he wants to do, but he was pissed off that the person was saying that. Oh, Michelle, I can't agree with that. I have to agree to disagree with you on that one. I would say don't give him an overly expensive monumental gift like a car or a house, but like a rose or something small, a card, a bracelet or something like that. Yeah, I've definitely given people gifts. Aquarius are gift givers, though. We're very big on gifts. Many of us, it's my love language, and many of us are really big on that. So yeah, I would give a gift. I just wouldn't give a extravagant gift, an expensive gift, something like that. I would read as someone trying to buy me, but something small, I would read as sweet and sentimental. Tips: how to show erotic interest. Casually guide the conversation in an erotic direction. Ask him for his opinion and let him know that you are curious about whether something is as amazing as it seems to be. Asking an Aquarius man his opinion. I'm gonna say we because I love that too. Aquarius love when you ask them that their opinion, you know. Yeah, I think it is the gesture that's really important. It definitely is. And I think that, like I said, when the price tag is really, really huge, I feel like you're trying to buy me. I really feel that. Because I've had people do that to me before, and I'm like, eh. And it always led to something not good. Every single time it led to something not good. So when it was something small, it wasn't like that. I read that as being very sentimental and generally kept them. I remember I went on this date with this woman and she gave me one rose. I still have that rose. I put it inside of a book and pressed it. And it's still inside that book to this day. So like something small would be very, very well received. But if you try to buy me, I'm not going to feel really good about that. That's not going to go well, you know? I'm going to think something's wrong with you when you're a creeper, you know? All right, this is the last page, guys. These are the last of our suggestions for today. The essence. He is a highly unusual lover. Just when you think things are about to get a little steamy, he may start thinking about something unrelated. Suddenly, the two of you may find yourself sitting naked in bed having a lively discussion. Lively discussions, definitely true. hmm Or laying in bed eating ice cream, or laying in bed doing something like that. Definitely true. Seizing the erotic moment. He can be so absorbed in foreplay that he forget about having an orgasm. To him, sex is an adventurous trip into the unknown, and sometimes the trip itself becomes more fascinating than the climax. So that's one that half of us are like, I want an orgasm. Some people are like, okay. From dream to reality, he is not a selfish lover. Far from it. He's willing to explore your fantasies and make you experience the pleasure of your erotic dreams. I definitely agree with that. Aquarius across the board are not selfish in that way in bed. If you have a person that's selfish in bed, that's a boring partner. Like, I'm good on that. Loves a challenge. He is a master when it comes to pleasing his partner. If you regard yourself as reserved with him, you won't remain shy for long. An Aquarius man loves a challenge. Even if he can't arouse you physically, he will probably manage to do so mentally. Definitely. That's hot. And let's see the last one. Spicy suggestions. Don't expect him to stick to old routines. He needs constant change and new inputs. He may suggest having sex in unusual places and in different ways. Anything that may bring excitement into his sex life. Yeah, that was one we saw more than once, and that's very important. Again, constant change, different things, different ideas. The idea is to keep him engaged and to keep, variety. That's the word. She just said it. Variety is key. The idea is to keep him engaged and having a good time and not the same old boring, same old over and over and over again. So, yeah, definitely true. All right, guys. So we're done. We're finished today. That was the section I wanted to do. For the next time, I'm going to read the next part, and I'll post to you guys how far I get, because the next part we're going to do another quiz. This is a compatibility quiz, and it has more questions. So we're going to get deeper into if you really could be with an Aquarius. And I think this is going to be a really important part because a lot of people come to me and they're having problems with their Aquarius. So I think that based on these 10 questions and her explanation for them, it'll really help a lot of people decide if this is for you. I think this is going to be extremely helpful. And then if we have time, let's see what's next. The next is the Aquarius woman. So we're going to start to get into the woman next. So that's going to be fun. I'm interested to see what differences she has between the male and the female. So that's going to be interesting because there are some differences and there are a lot of similarities. So that's going to be interesting too. All right, guys. So before we get going, does anybody have any questions about sex and the Aquarius man? You're welcome, Shell. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for coming and spending this hour with me. Thank you, is it Mrs. Doll or Miss Doll? Thank you so much. And thank you for coming. Everybody, in case you didn't remember, Catherine Doll is the woman who wrote this book. She is the author of this wonderful book. And this is her baby. So thank you so much for coming back and talking with us. And she told us last time that she knew it's Miss Doll. She said last time that she knew, and I think it was an Aquarius best friend growing up. I think it might have been, but she had gotten a lot of information from that friendship. Thank you, Dark and Proud. Thank you, Jordan. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. That was great. I that was really great because I love talking about intimacy, and a lot of times people are very shy when it comes. You wouldn't believe grown people are very shy sometimes about talking about sex and sexuality and these kind of things. So I love to come across topics like this because people do have questions. Love you, Kiki. Was it? No, it's not. It's Kiwa. Kika West Indies, right? Love you too, sweetie. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give the discussion a thumbs up if you like it. Yes, Yvonne. Yes. Aquarius are not shy at all. Kika. Kika? Is it Kika or Kaika? It looks like Kika. Happy holidays, Terry. Happy holidays. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you all for being here. I always love coming and having live discussions because usually I'm just talking and you're just listening. So it's cool when I get to listen back. Marika. Ah, happy holidays. Happy holidays. So tomorrow I'll come back and I will have two videos for you guys. And I will also do another edition of the witch trials for everybody who's on my Patreon page. All of my patrons get to see my once a week video series, The Witch Trials. So anybody who's interested, please come out and check out my Patreon page. It will be underneath this video when we're done. Ah, Miss Dahl is in Norway. I bet Norway is beautiful this time of year. Is there a lot of snow? I have this impression of Norway being a cold place with a lot of snow. Is that what it looks like right now? I love snow. Even though I'm not a big snow person, I love it during Christmas time. Not yet? Okay. Yeah. I'm real big on that. Predictions for Aquarius 2020. You know something? The other day, I don't know if you guys checked it out or not, but the other day I did some cards for 2020. And somebody asked me if I would do more cards this week for 2020. So maybe use a different deck or maybe use tarot or something like that. So yeah, to pick a card. Yeah, I did that earlier this week. So I think I might do that again. Somebody asked me if I would do it again and maybe do tarot because I have a lot of tarot decks. So I thought about yeah, it might be fun to do. I think that might be a fun thing for us to do. And look at some more predictions for 2020 and get ready because 2020 is what? Week after next. So yeah. Yeah, the last deck I got was beautiful. It was called Love Your Inner Goddess. And that's an oracle deck, but it's a beautiful deck. It's great for everybody. Beginners and experts can use that deck. I really enjoy using oracle cards. All right, guys, I am starving. So I'm going to wrap up now so I can go eat. I'm starving. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for enjoying your Sunday here with all of us. And if you have a chance to try out some of these cool things that we saw and read about in the book today, that would be a lot of fun. Anybody who wants this book is called No More Frogs by Catherine Dahl. It says Your Guide to the Aquarius Free Spirit. I got this book on Amazon.com. So one of the things I'll do is after I'm finished, I will put a link there as well. Thank you, Shelly. I love these earrings. Thank you so much. I love them. So I'm going to put this link underneath here in case you want to grab this book because this book has great advice if you want to date an Aquarius. Okay, guys, time to get going. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you for being here. Bye, guys.